Hello, hello, hello. So, OP17 hasn't even been out for like a week. It's been a couple of days since the pre-releases have gone out, and we have already started to see some leaks about the OP18 and EBO4 cards. So, there's been a couple of leaders revealed and a couple of special arts that have been revealed, and so I'll show them off. However, this is kind of like an anime only warning. One of the leaders in particular has a couple of cards that I'm pretty sure the anime haven't caught up on, so I'll probably put in the chapters like a thing that says, by the way, beware because this art will have spoilers. But other than that, we are going to just hop into leaks and we're going to see how good they are, basically. So the first leak is going to be the EBO5 leader, so that'll probably be coming out in a month or two as like a halfway point between the sets. And it is a green-yellow 4-life leader, Nico Robin. Her ability is once per turn, when one of your characters with the Wisdom attribute and without blocker is KO'd, add up to one card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Activate main once per turn, set up to one of your characters with a Wisdom attribute and 6k power or less active. This is interesting because I think it's the first leader that fully actually counts these attributes up here. Because I think the last one that does it is Buggy done it. That's a lie. Mihawk done it for Slash because he became a 6k leader. Buggy done it in that he couldn't be killed by Slash attributes. But I think there's not been any other like main things that have ever mattered for attributes. So it'll be interesting to see the fact that this deck will probably built around the Wisdom attribute, and that'll be exciting trying to find deck lists and all the kind of attributed cards. So yeah, I've just had a look to load up the sim to see what wisdom attributes there are. So the main one is there's Nat Searcher Nami, which could be nice if you're running a Straw Hat package for the deck. Lim's one, Hiyori's one. There's the new Robin that I'll go over later. The wisdom attribute doesn't have that much for this color now that I'm looking at it. I mean, it's got Nico Olivia, which is nice, so you can give your leader 2k counter with a plus 3k power. You've also got Lilith, which is a searcher for triggers, which could be nice. Mega. The new Pudding, which trashes a trigger and draws 3 cards, is one. Oh, Dr. Hogback's one. The blocker Hiyori is one. All this Vegapunk scientists seem to be. And then Shakiaku's one as well. So that's interesting. I do think they're going to need more cards probably if you want to run a wisdom kind of list like the leader implies you want to. Because right now there's not enough good wisdom stuff, I think, to make a deck based on them unless you plan on basically just making Vegapunk. But don't think that will work in any deck other than Vegapunk. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out for it. Angela, I'll go over the cards while I'm here. So the other card that's been revealed, which is the Manga for OP18, is a 4-cost 5k power Nico Robin. On your opponent's turn, if your character would be removed from the field of your opponent's effects, you may rest this character instead. So it's KO protection. That's not as much relevant right now in this meta. I think the most removal this meta has, if I remember correct, is probably either Kaido if he runs like Lightning and the 6-cost Nugget, not 6-cost Nugget, the Kaido that KOs a 6 power or less, 6 cost or less, and then potentially Elbaf with Loki and the events. I think those are probably the only removal decks in the meta right now. Obviously, I mean, if people figure out Lucha, he could potentially be one, but it could be more relevant in the upcoming sets. And then, end of your turn, set up to one of your Water 7 type cards and up to one of your Dons active. Once again, I think that's probably something that will need. So let's just check. What do Water 7 have right now? Otter. I missed a W there. Yeah, not a lot. Because this will be coming up with a Franky leader I'll mention in a bit. So on we've got is Pistol, which is insane. Iceberg, Tom, Frankie, Billo, Khalifa, this Rush Luffy, and then Jet Gatling. So once again, I think that's a card that the leaks are going to have to, when the sets come out, will probably be a lot more viable as a way to try and make it slightly better. Let's go back to Wisdom. And yeah, the other leak that has been, another Robin has been revealed is an EBO5 SR, 6 cost 6k power Robin, on who is a green card with your turn on play up to one character card with Wisdom attribute from your hand. So yeah, right now you could potentially play out this card, but that's like a set later. Shirahoshi maybe, but that I doubt that would be a thing. Maybe Sengoku. Yeah, I think we need a lot more cards for that to kind of become a bit more relevant, basically. But it'll be interesting to see the attribute stuff come back into the game because it would be quite cool to see all of these, like, potentially these leaders and cards that want specific attributes to make them full powered. That would be interesting. And since I mentioned Franky, I will go to Franky. So Franky is a leader in OP18. He is a green purple leader with 4 life and 5k power. His ability is all stage cards in your hand have a 3k counter. And activate main on play once per turn, don -1. Play up to one stage card with a cost of 5 or less from your hands. So that's really interesting, and this is probably a deck that I will probably play because it's purple. But also, I like the idea that you can flood a board with stages. Let's actually take a look at the stages that we have access to in the game so far. So, boat is irrelevant because you can't use any of that's effects. This is once again irrelevant. Bird's Cage. Here's the thing, you don't get the freeze. But if you're on 10 Dawn, you don't necessarily need the freeze, you just need the pop. But I'm not sure. I'm not convinced, especially since you have to. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Maybe it have some use, but I don't see it. Noah's Ark. I think people will play this for the fact that it will be a trigger. I don't need yellow on anymore. By the fact that the trigger's so good, you can't play out with leader effect normally because it's one above the cost type. But I think the trigger for basically everything in there, I think that it will probably be played. Because it's also not a brick, it's a 3k counter. Going Merry. Going Merry could potentially see some play. As it's if you're Straw Hat, Straw 1 card, which Franky is, and then activate main, you can rest this. If the number of Dawn cards is equal, give something +2 cost. If you're Dawn minusing a lot, that could potentially be useful. But potentially maybe it's like a 1 or 2 of Germa. I entirely doubt this will be seen played in it. Thousand Sunny potentially could be played. Because, once again, if there's removal going on in the next sets, this could be useful as, like, you can get some Dawn back as a way to try and disincentivize your opponent from getting rid of your cards. This is not useful because it's if your leader is Sanji. This is not relevant because it says Roger Pirates. Marineford, maybe. Marineford potentially. Actually, hold on. Let's go back to Water 7 for a second. Are yous? No, they are not. The only way I think that you would potentially play Marineford in the deck is if they made CP0 cards.
Navy. So if they added in like another purple set of Rob Lucci, cauliflower, all of these, like, these are the only two I can remember. Stussy as well, I guess. All of these cards that I think the only way you would make them relevant is if they were Navy type. That's potentially the only reason you would run Marineford. And then there is the stage crew that is coming with Franky, which is the Mini Mary, which is a 5 cost stage. On play, draw 1 card, then add up to 1 Dawn as your from rest as your Dawn deck. Activate main, give up to a total of 4 of your leader or character cards, 1 rested Dawn card each. This will be played turn 1. Like, you will go turn 1, play a Searcher if the deck gets one. You will Dawn -1, you will play out Mini Mary, and then you will draw a card and get that Dawn right back. This will be a 4 of in the deck, and a 4 of 3k counter is ridiculous. So yeah, so far I think the only stages that we'll potentially see play in this deck is Mini Mary and Noah's Ark, potentially Marineford if the CP0 agents uh, are given the Navy type. But I don't know if they would because that might be at the point where they're undercover. So I doubt they will, but it could be relevant. So yeah, 3 stages so far, but I'm gonna imagine more stages are gonna come out for Frankie. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with these stages. So yes, now the second leader that has been revealed for OP18 is a black and purple 4 life leader, 5k power, Saint Gunko. So the first of the Holy Knights have been put in leaders now, which is going to be really cool. Her abilities are once per turn, when a character is played from your trash, draw 2 cards and trash 1 from your hand. Activate main once per turn. You may trash 1 card from your hand. If you have a character with 8k base power or more, add up to 1 card as active from your Dawn deck. The nice thing about this effect is that it's not locked to your opponent to your turn. So you, if you have a character that has revival, will be able to trigger that on your opponent's turn. So say it's similar to the crocodile. You're going neutral because you're trashing 1 card. You're then drawing 2, and then you're getting rid of 1. So you're going neutral and reviving a card, which will be lovely. The activate main, it's annoying you have to trash a card to get back 1 active Dawn, but I guess because this deck will probably have revival from the trash, that's probably what you want. You're gonna want to fill your trash up with cards and then, play them out. But this will be very interesting, and I think depending on the support, this could be really good. Especially with like some of we already have some celestial dragon support, and then if we get some holy knights as well, it could be very, very interesting. But yeah, so on this there's already a good amount of support from celestial dragons because of the emu leader. So we've got Saint Charla, who's top 3 cards of your deck, look for celestial dragons type other than herself and add it to your hand, then trash the rest and trash 1 card from your hand. That will not be ideal because obviously you're going -1, but to fill up your trash with Gunko, it might actually be alright. But yeah, that depends. Ideally you want a new searcher, but you can't go wrong with already having an established searcher. You've got Saint Charlos, a chump blocker that can trash a card, top card of your put the card from the top of your deck to the trash. So once again, useful for filling it up. A searchable 2k counter. You might not want to play it, but maybe you will want to play this because you will probably play Mary Joie in this deck because you can. So it might be useful to have a couple of these in the deck just with the amount of stage removal that's in the game now. Now, 5 elders. You will not play Saint. You will not play. You will not play Saturn because his searcher's locked to 5 elders. You could potentially play Warkany. It's just like a blocker that on KO draws you a card, so it kind of helps you with the card removal you're gonna have from your deck. Maybe Nostro. I don't know. Maybe Nostro. This will require playing, I think. But Nostro is an option. You will probably play Mars. just because you can remove a base cost 5 or less, and it's just nice to have a base cost removal as well as a blocker, and then potentially Jupiter. I think all of them could potentially be used apart from Saturn, but at that point, if you're playing them all, you could just run Saturn. But yeah, I'm not. I'm convinced you could play the two blockers. I'm not sure about. I'm convinced you can play Workaday and Sat and Mars. I'm not convinced about the other three. The five elders could be used because, once again, it is a celestial dragon searcher. Maybe this could be useful depending on how meta Luffy becomes. Because if you're able to get rid of Loki, that could be really good. But ideally, you would want to play out a character on this turn, because if you're on 6 Dawn, then if you're on 7 Dawn, then ideally you're playing out a character that can trigger your leader effect to ramp an active Dawn. So might not be useful, but it could be something. And then this doesn't work because all of its effects are emu. And yeah, I don't think this will be entirely useful. And then I'm going to search up Mary. Yeah, Holy Land of Mary Joie. Celestial Dragon characters with cost of 2 or more, cost 1 less. This will be played, because if you're able to make all of your bodies 1 less to play, that will be really, really good. And I think at this point, there will now be like a spoiler warning because I'm going to go over some of the cards that have spoilers potentially on them. So you have been warned. So please avert your eyes now. So I'll go with Saint Shamrock, who is an 8 cost 9k power. On KO, you may trash one card from your hand and then play this character card from your trash. So that's already fulfilling the Junko Leader effect for the ability to, once per turn, revive something from your trash because it's played from the trash. So that will be nice to draw on your opponent's turn. Activate main once per turn. If this character was played on this turn, play up to one Holy Knight of God type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your trash. So once again, you're triggering your leader effect with that, and potentially it could be something with blocker, could be something with rush. It's unfortunate you can't play out a if like a celestial dragons type, but specifically Holy Knights of God, because if you were able to play out something like Mars or Workaday off of that effect, it would be really, really good with a blocker. But yeah, I think if we see more cards revealed, this could potentially be very good. But yeah, so that's an interesting one, and once again, we need more Holy Knight of God stuff. Basically, that's the thing. We need more reviews. These are still really, really new. Surprised we got them out like a couple of days after, but I guess that's just what happens when there's simultaneous releases now. I'm pretty sure. So this will be, but then I'm going to pain when I play my locals. I'm going to have to fight people for 4 copies of this thing. And then the next, which is, I'm 90% sure anime spoilers, so avert your eyes before I click on this, is the SR 10 cost 11k power Saint Gunko. It's a 10 crop blocker. On play, Dawn -1, play up to one Celestial Dragons type character card with 6k power or less from your trash. So this kind of has, it's not only is it a 10 cost 11k blocker, which if you've got the Merijoa stage is a 9 cost blocker, being able to play out base Celestial Dragons type is nice because you could play out something like the Mars, you could play out the Workaday, potentially even a Rush with Nostero. Like you have a lot more options to play with this one. So you can play defensively, getting 2 blockers out for the cost of 9 Dawn, or potentially a Rush, or it could be any other types of effects that this man will probably play out as well. And then once again, you're playing something out, so it's triggering your leader effects. So yeah, that's why I think Gunko will be really good. Is all of our if all of our cards trigger the trash effects, then you're not going to suffer as much from Saint Charlie's effect because everything you have will just be like refurbished basically with these draw effects. So I think I'll probably try and play both of them because they're both purple. but I think Gunko will probably, from between the two of them so far, Gunko's looking like the far better option. So it'll be interesting to see how more of her reveals make her a lot stronger. Yes, more leaks that are coming out now is in EBO5. We are getting new heroine leader designs with alt arts. So as you can see on screen, we have got one for the OP14 blue yellow boa, got one for OP15's mono blue Rebecca, one for EBO3's red blue Vivi, one for OP11's blue yellow Nami, and then one for OP11's green yellow Shirahoshi. So yeah, all I'm saying is if you want to buy these cards, you're paying a severe waifu tax. Like, these cards will be expensive, even if the hit rates for them are all right. Like, say you're guaranteed like one in a case or something like that, these will still be extortionate. Like, even if you're guaranteed like multiple in a case, these things will cost so much money because the artwork for them is really nice. And I think particularly Nami, not only because it's Nami, because this leader is actually really, really good. Same with Boa. Boa and Nami will cost you probably a house down payment to try and get if you don't pack them. So this set's gonna cost so much to try and get. So if you're making a master set, good luck, because these cards are gonna cost you so And much. Going on to the final leaks that have been revealed, we have seen the alt art versions of the OP18 leaders, one for Franky and one for Gunko, and they look amazing. I think these are probably tied now for my favourite alt arts that we've had. I think my favourite ones are still, I think it's OP3s, where they were like the manga arts. They looked beautiful, but these are really, really cool. Like, this art style, I mean, look at Frankie just yelling "Super" with the Going Merry, or is that Thousand Sunny? Well, one of the ships, Thousand Sunny. Got Thousand Sunny in the background, him standing on top of one of the broken ships. Like, it looks so, so cool. This kind of art style will do really, really well. And now it is the leader Gunko, which, once again, massive anime spoilers, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, this art style is incredible. Uh, I love this art style so, so, so much. I'm assuming this won't be anime spoilers when the card comes out, because it's at least a couple of months away. I'm gonna say 4, because say 2 months for EBO5 and then 2 months for OP18. So that will probably be coming out either kind of December-ish or January time. So when everyone's poor from buying Christmas presents, basically. So that is basically all the leaks we have so far. I might do more based on if basically the leaders come out. I don't think I'll do it for every character. I might do it just for purely the purple color, because that's what I will play. And then I might actually, do you know what? I'll say I'll do the leaders and I'll commit to the rest. I might just wait for the rest of the leaders to be revealed before I do something else. But we'll see from that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will have an actual video hopefully out in about 2 or 3 days. So I will see you all later. Bye bye.